And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the Australian Zerg player representing Opus V. It is Peppy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Inside Now, we have the Australian Protoss representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is StarDuck. Boy, here we go, and I'm most curious to see how StarDuck is going to play this out. You know, Peppy, I don't expect anything too crazy out of him, more standard play, which is, you know, a great thing in his own right. But because StarDuck has been so inactive player-wise, I wonder what he's, you know, currently fond of. I know that he does look up to Hero quite a bit. You know, he has been watching a lot of Hero games and a lot of Hero replays. But is he too well versed in the Hero style in going, you know, double to even triple Oracle Opener into those Blink Stalkers? I hope so. Otherwise, he could be doing some other things. You know, Classic has been really fond of Robo-based openers. We have Creator and Zaun who love to switch things up, mix in even Glaive Adepts from time to time and Twilight Council openers. There's a lot available here to Protoss, but stylistically, I have to wonder where StarDuck is currently at in current meta, especially because of how inactive he's been. We are here to find out. For the time being, it's just being as annoying as possible with this probe. Gonna finally mine out those minerals and head back home. Back across the map, again, standard opener, you know, gate expand, cyber core on the way. We have our second pylon behind the mineral line to throw down that hidden tech a little bit later on. And Peppy has that one overlord with his one job to scout. Go. Has to be careful though, there we go. Not to be baited by this fake pillar. Fun fact, if a stalker is on the high ground, you can shoot an overlord here. So you gotta be very careful. Of course, Peppy, fully aware, does back off with his overlord. And, oh, this is what I was curious about. I have to wonder if StarDuck has been watching, because we don't have a Stargate. We have that Robo first, and we can go a couple of different directions here. I'm getting flashbacks to Blackburn. StarDuck versus Peppy, Season 1 of ANZ Champs, where StarDuck went for a Disruptor drop opener, and he died horribly to a Link counterattack. Against Peppy. I'll always remember, it was so smooge, Puppy, it was so smooge. The Disruptors did not deal anywhere near enough damage. But there are different variations of this. We can go Robo into Bay and go across the map with only a single Disruptor and start a Colossus. We can go into double Disruptor instead, which is a little bit more committed and takes a little bit longer, but, you know, high risk, high reward sort of thing. We can even go into Immortal production as well. I'm very curious, as the first Adept does scout the location of the third base. Robo is done. Immortal starts. Not a Bay, not a Prism, and we have a Twilight Council as well in the main base. This is crazy. Okay, so the Overlord sneaks into the main base. Peppy does get eyes on the Robo. He doesn't get eyes on the Twilight Council because the Twilight Council was thrown down at the natural base at the time. So StarDuck is spreading out his tech to try and keep it hidden here. And as far as Peppy is aware, this should be a Disruptor drop opener, or it kind of looks to be the case, as he goes in for a bit of a scout. Oh, and he does get eyes on the Twilight Council, so now he knows about the two base play. He knows about the Soul Train-esque build coming his way, and Peppy, smart choice, he does go for his Rotorn. Now he just has to be careful not to drone up too much here, because StarDuck, I doubt he's going to be looking to expand anytime soon. There we go. We have 4 gates on the way to meet up with the 2 that we already have. So 6 gates in total. This is going to be a 2-base all in. Oh my god, 7? Is he going to go for 8? He goes for 8! Oh my god. 8 gate charge all in with only 2 gases for that Immortal production. This is gonna get crazy, Peppy. Oh my god. Again, Peppy only has a piece of the puzzle. He's aware of the Twilight Council, he's aware of the Robo, he's aware of the lack of gases. He just doesn't know how committed this is going to be. He's throwing down some spores. I don't blame him. Because of the Twilight Council, this could even be DTs for all he knows. So he's trying to be as safe as possible. He's trying to cover all his bases. This will be inefficient as a result. This is resources being spent in an area that won't really help. So these are all good things for StarDuck. Great link positioning here from Peppy. He has links all over the place to get eyes on the move out, and he does see it. Oh, with his link, he even confirms the Warp Prism. He confirms the Immortal as well. Peppy has to be prepared to give up his third base. Lings, Roaches, and Ravagers are in production here. He is preparing, but it's still about the execution because, mate, StarDuck has a lot of force fields to work with. And we only have one Ravager. Uh-oh. And here we go. StarDuck pushing in between of these bases. Peppy trying to get a bit of a surround. Doesn't quite get it in the end. Oh, again, we have a lot of sentries to work with here. Another warping of Zealots behind this. A couple of Zealots do overextend, though, and they do go down. So a great start here from Peppy. This is a very difficult choke point to try and force your way through. And StarDuck is forced to back off. Uh-oh, he is rotating around. Do we have vision of these rocks? We do. Again, StarDuck is recognizing how difficult it is to break this choke point. Instead, going over to the left-hand side, Peppy is buying a lot of time, by the way. He's got a lot of links to work with, a lot of roaches, a lot of queens. The Zealots, they are getting on top of these queens. The Ling's a little bit out of position here. The Bio's not quite getting the connections that they need, and StarDuck is pushing through. At the same time, we do have that Ling run by nothing at home to defend. Eventually, this wall will be broken. But StarDuck is finding the damage he needs. He catches every single one of these queens. The third base is forfeit, but he needs more than the third. He needs to break into the main. At the same time, oh, the Cybercore is going to go down, but that's okay. We don't need the Cybercore. We're warping in Zealots. And only Zealots, Papi. Ay. The third base has actually been saved for the time being. We have Lings and Roaches on the way, but Peppy, his base has been broken. Oh my god, the force field. He traps in all the drones. There's no way out, Papi. They cannot escape. Ooh. Another force field thrown down as well. Reinforcements are coming in for Peppy. The Lings that were across the map actually turn around. They come back home. Oh, but it's not going to be enough. GG gets called, and StarDuck, with the 8-gate 2-base all-in, takes game number 1. Oh my god. That was disgusting. I'm a little bit shocked because even though StarDuck was forced to rotate around and kill rocks and delay his push at the third base, he was still able to pull it off. One, he had amazing force fields. Like, he completely isolated and killed every single one of those queens immediately. It was brutal. Likewise, Peppy going for a Ling counterattack, that's a lot of supply that he's not having at home to defend. I'm sure he assumed that maybe like he can force some economic damage or force some warp-ins back at home and do something that way. I do think that maybe those Lings would have had more success being kept back at home just to hold on to our bases and you know, stop things from snowballing. Oh, very scary and very strong push there by StarDuck. Ay. And now he is one game away from moving on forward and from making it to that qualifying match. Oh boy. And here we go. We're loading into game number 2, and it's going to be Data Under the Sea. StarDuck playing HOTS? I know, right? Oh my god. It's crazy, Papi. And speaking of crazy, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Australian Zerg player himself representing Opus V. It is Peppy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Australian Protoss player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is StarDuck. And shout out to Tonasu in the chat, letting us know that qualifying matches are indeed best of 5s, not best of 3s. So yeah, the next match will be that best of 5 once we get there. Oh. And StarDuck, honestly, He's quite close. We'll see what his plan is in game number 2. Data C is quite a larger map compared to Inside and Out, so going for a 2-base all-in is going to be a little bit harder to pull off here, but a great way to start the series and a great way to get a lead in said series. Oh boy, here we go. There we go. Gases have been taken as well. Wait, what? Peppy going, yeah, hatch gas pool. For a moment I was like, what was, I was a little bit distracted by the chat, not gonna lie. So Peppy just going for a hatch gas pool, forced to take the unnatural natural. Everything is looking normal here. StarDuck last game, if you recall, did open up Robo first, but this game, it's gotta be a star game, right? There's no way. There's no way. Yeah, it depends, because I know StarDuck, I don't think he feels too comfortable in a macro game against Peppy. I think we're all aware that Peppy is a little bit more in form and in shape, and his macro is going to be just that much better than StarDuck's as the game goes on longer. So the shorter the game is and the more micro intensive it is, that is definitely something that StarDuck can flex and can leverage in this series. As the probe is going to be sneaking into the main base, just again confirming the scout wants to make sure that drones are being produced, and there we go, does get confirmation that the natural base is being saturated. Heals good, man. And soon we should be seeing that tech thrown down for StarDuck. There it is. It is going to be the Stargate. The positioning of this pylon does show that as well. Clearly, StarDuck doesn't want to hide his tech this time. He wants it to be as close to the edge as possible so that that Oracle can get across the map as soon as possible. Not too concerned with getting scouted. Meanwhile, this probe should be cleaned up here by these Lings. Peppy just rotating around and just trying to catch it. And oh god, it's going to be so close. The Adept gets here just in time though, and it looks like the Adept, can he save it? Oh, he will not. As one Ling goes down for that probe. Meanwhile, with this Stargate, we should be seeing an Oracle here. Like, I do remember a couple of months ago that StarDuck was playing around with that hero style to great effect. I remember him, I believe he even took a game off of Demi with it in a Sparkling Tuna Cup, maybe Eba as well. Oh, so it's not completely foreign to him. So we have that first Oracle on the way. The Adepts are getting into position here at the third base to eventually expand. No, going to be shading out instead, actually. Oh. And Peppy across the map, just chilling, droning, making those queens. No additional gases, so we're not going to be seeing any kind of early roach timing or any bailing timing or anything like that. We have pulled back into gas at this point to eventually get into our tech and get into our lair. Oh. As the first Adept is going to be going down, the Adepts do draw away the attention of the Queens, and oh, the first Oracle is going to get a lot of damage done. 3 drones already going down. He gets a 4th. Oh, almost gets a 5th. A little bit of a misclick. Yeah, misclick there by StarDuck. But regardless, 4 drones is not bad damage at all. Meanwhile, Peppy going straight into that lair. Interesting choice. Typically we have this paired up with a Roach Warren. There's no Bailing Nest, there's no Evo Chamber here. Peppy, what is our plan? I'm curious. We'll keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on the gas count. As the third base is being taken, the linear third instead of the triangular third. Lings get here in time just to scout. Looks like there aren't enough Lings to deny it or anything like that. StarDuck behind this, we see a Twilight Council and a Forge. This is, of course, should be for Blink and +1. Here we go. +1 and charge, not blink. Oh my god. Once again, going for a different variation, and this is scary. Oh, okay, there we go. Thankfully, we have a Roach Warren. I was about to say, if Peppy goes Ling Hydra, this could be disastrous. We've seen time and time again, Zerg players scout, see the tech, assume that it's blink, and blindly try and counter it with Ling Hydra and suffer as a result. Meanwhile, Peppy instead is going for a Spire. Ooh, 4 gases have been taken. Mutas would be very interesting here. It's going to take a while to get into Mutas though, and I worry that StarDuck may hit with the timing before the Mutas are out. But if Peppy is able to hold on, well, StarDuck doesn't really have much that shoots up. He will have access to Archons shortly, and Archons are amazing against Mutas, but Archons aren't very mobile. We don't have Blink for Blink Stalkers. I guess we can start Phoenix production, but specifically without Blink, it can be difficult to reactively deal with Mutas. Meanwhile, here we go. Double Oracle, just trying to sneak around, getting an eye on a potential fourth base if there was one. The Queens are forced to respond here. Getting a couple of shots off. Meanwhile, the towers have been taken, or at least one tower has been taken here by StarDuck. Spire is going to finish up as Charge finishes, and yeah, StarDuck is more concerned with probing than he is with attacking. Just getting his cannons, getting a couple of shield batteries, sentries, Archons. StarDuck is none the wiser about this Spire, and I'm really worried for him. He has to realize that something is wrong, and unfortunately StarDuck just hasn't been able to get in for a scout, even despite having those oracles. Oh boy, I'm really curious. Okay, we do have Charge. Are we gonna see Blink behind this? Like, I hope we do. A couple of Chrono Boosts are being a little bit wasted here. War Prism is gonna be on the way. Archons do mean that the Mutas can't really do any like head-on, or can't engage head-on. But nonetheless, they are coming out. Here we go. 7 Mutas, more than enough to one-shot probes. No defense in the main base, no cannons, no shield batteries. This is going to force StarDuck all in, and that's exactly what Peppy wants. Peppy's making roaches at home. There we go. The Mutas are damaged to the middle line. They force a reaction here. Quick reaction from StarDuck. He's going to try and save what he can, but 8 probes already go down. At the same time, StarDuck is sending everything he has across the map, but he doesn't have a lot. Oh, it's going to be enough to at least break this base. We have the Prism shortly behind this to reinforce and warp in another wave of those charge lots. We need them out now more than ever. Only 2 workers have gone down, and again, as time goes on, these roaches are coming out. A couple of transfuses are going to help out here. We don't have the Prism to micro. We need the Prism Puppy to make sure we don't lose the Archons. The Lings are getting caught in the choke point, though, and actually StarDuck is trading insanely well. Oh my god. We have some force fields available at the same time. Mutas are going ham. Oh, so many probes are going down across the map. But the main push, StarDuck breaks through. Wait, who needs a Prism for micro? Who needs a puppy? The Archons are insane. Finally, 1 Archon is going to go down, but only 1 as the reinforcements come in. We even have a couple of Oracles to reinforce, or to help out if we really need it. And even though drones have not died yet, there's 42 drones in this mineral line, and oh my god, no, not like this. They're forced to fight. Ah, not against the Archons, Papi. Not against the Archons, as every single drone here is going to be going down. Here come those Oracles that we were talking about earlier. The Mutas across the map are doing what they can, but these Blinks, or these Stalkers, period, are going to be able to clean them up, and GG gets called. StarDuck with the charge lots takes game number 2 in the series 2-0. Wow. Wrong button. Hold on. GG, well played. Just letting StarDuck know that he's disgusting. GG, well played. StarDuck takes the series 2-0. Peppy tried to be cheeky with his Mutas, and to be fair, the Mutas did do a lot of damage across the map. They went uncontested for a long time. But the positioning at the natural was really awkward. You saw that a lot of Peppy's units at the natural were kind of stuck behind each other. A lot of Lings were behind the Queens, a lot of Roaches behind Roaches. We had some Spine Crawlers, sure, but we had a really, really awkward time there defending the natural, and those Archons, their splash damage auto attacks just did so much there, cleaning everything up. Oh my god. That was a meat grinder. And with that, StarDuck moves on to a qualifying match. The man, the myth, the legend. StarDuck is awake. He's awake, Papi. He's awake. Ah.